Okay, Saturday night, everybody knows that we got kicked out in Cochran. $10,000 race. I'm going to show y'all what we got kicked out for so that there's no misunderstanding on the difference in shims and shimming and spacers and all that. I'm going to show you what the actual deal was. So follow me. This is a $10,000 nut. Two little damn 1/4-inch nuts that was put in here just to hold the bolt in place so I can undo these two nuts on the bottom and drop the shock down and put another one on and tighten it up without having to get wrenches and everything else over in behind here, which is aggravating as hell to do. So this is what I done to keep from having to get wrenches and everything in there. And if you'll notice, both sides are the same. Okay? Both sides of the car are the same. So if you want to call that a damn shim, call it a shim. If you want to call it a nut, call it a nut. I called it just a means to hold the damn shock in there, and the nut was just to hold the bolt in there in place so it didn't move around and I could just slide the shock up in and out. So there's your damn $10,000 problem right there. But now, here's the situation. According to the way the rules are written at Cochran Motor Speedway, and this is the rules that I read before I went to that damn racetrack, and this is how the rules read. It says steel non-adjustable shocks in factory location only, no bump stops, no revivable steel shocks, no Schrader valves, no piercing valves. And then here's the situation right here. It says both ends of rear shocks. We're talking the rear of the car. We're not talking the front of the car. We're talking the rear of the car. It says both ends of the rear shock should be mounted at factory location. Mounting ears of shocks must be mounted flat against the factory shock mount. No shimming down from factory location. Nowhere in this here sentence, in the way they wrote this, does it say anything about the front shocks. Okay, so not saying anything about the front shocks does not tell me that I can't put this nut to hold this bolt. That's the way my front shocks are. That bolt is in there, just so, and that's all that is for. And then I can slide my shock up in here and slide it on there, put a nut on it, and boom, I'm good to go. Now, it goes on to read no bump stops, okay? That doesn't specify front or rear, it just says no bump stops. You don't know, okay? But now here we go, it says lower end of rear shocks must be mounted at the same height and rear end. Once again, we're talking about nothing but the rear shocks. So, not saying anything about the front stuff doesn't say I can't do that. But here's the tick. They're saying that you can't have anything in between. Now this is at Cochran now. They're saying you can't have anything, nothing whatsoever, between the face of that shock and the face of that lower control arm, okay? That's what they're saying. It doesn't say it on the front shocks in this rules. All right? They're saying mount the damn shock directly against that, put a nut and bolt through it and let it go. Okay? If it said that in the rules, we wouldn't be standing here having this problem. But here's the kicker. This is another lower control arm to this one, a match. These factory clips right here, okay, that come from the factory. That ain't something that they just somebody put in there. This come from the factory. So what they're saying the way the rules, the way they're interpreting the rules, it doesn't say it in this, just the rear, that if you're going by what they're saying, that means you can't even run this clip. And for those that don't understand, well, why not? I'm going to tell you. Because that clip is in the middle of that damn shock and that housing. So therefore, that's got to be considered a spacer, a shim, whatever the hell you want to call it. So you can't even run according to the way they interpreting things Saturday night. You can't even run that. So where does that leave you now with this class? Yes, I understand the smart asses out there are going to say, well, just put the goddamn thing through there, stick 2 bolts through it, and let it ride. Okay, that's the way it would have been had it said it in the goddamn rule book, but it didn't. So that goddamn nut right there, that's the fastest fucking nut in South Georgia. And anybody that wants some of these bad motherfuckers, I'll sell you the 2 off the front of this car. Actually, there's 4 up there. But I'll sell you these bad motherfuckers for $100 a piece. Just think of how fast that your goddamn car can go if you put these on your car. Because y'all see how fast this son of a bitch is. There it is right there. 1/4 inch nut. All this damn time people are worried about springs and goddamn shocks and motors and all this shit, and there it fucking is right there, buddy. That's 3 to 5 tenths over any damn body at the racetrack. 1/4 inch nut. If anybody wants to know the secret behind this car, there it is right there. Thing is, I got a whole tray full of these. They're special nuts though. Only I can get them, so you're gonna have to see me for this shit. So don't run down there to the hardware store because they don't sell this kind of nut there. These are special. So to try to wrap this shit up, there's no spacers on the back shocks. Not one goddamn thing on this car is wrong. But if it's come down to this class where we're gonna get the goddamn worrying about 100 thousandths thickness on something, well, I'm here to tell y'all, and I don't give a goddamn what anybody says, and I say any goddamn body, they ain't a fucking car in the enduro class that would ever pass tech if we're gonna get down that goddamn technical on this kind of stuff. Because I see cars running around that the rules clearly say they gotta have window nets. They said you had to have a window net. It didn't say they recommend the damn window net at Cochran. It says must have. Well, we put a goddamn window net here and we get up there and there's a half goddamn dozen cars don't even have window nets. So, but they're saying they ain't gonna worry about that. Then we goddamn look over there, spring buckets. I changed out my spring buckets and changed out all kinds of shit just for that race. And then I look over there at damn 2 cars parked beside me. Hell, they got spring buckets. So why in the hell would they show up with spring buckets? It's written in the rule book, but apparently nobody cared. But apparently, at the end of the night, after 3 damn days of being in Cochran and all the money I spent to be there, that damn special nut cost me $10,000. So how the hell do you win a race if you don't know what the hell you can do and can't do because it's not written in the rule book? And there it is right there. For any of y'all that can't read, I said this one time before on a video, if you can't read the goddamn, get somebody to read it for you, but it clearly states right there. I can't look at this and tell you, oh, well, that means front shocks too, because all it specifies is the rear shocks. And I don't want to hear no shit about, well, you should have known it meant the front shocks too. No, if they want you to know something about the front shocks, it should have said all shocks. Or it should have said, see damn rear shocks for rules. You know, I said, but It don't say that. So there you go. This and I didn't write this goddamn rule book in case anybody wants to know. I didn't have nothing to do with that. I've been accused of writing rule books before. So there it is right there. Anybody that wants to know what we got kicked out for? 4 little old damn 1/4 inch nuts. $10,000. I'm not mad that we didn't get the damn $10,000. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad at the tech man about it. I understand his point. He was doing what he was basically, what the rules were supposed to be interpreted to me about, but we can't sit here and interpret what I don't know. When you write a rule book, you can't expect somebody else to know what you were thinking. Well, I meant for this to sound like this, or I meant for that. It's done been discussed, and this has been already said. This should have been wrote different, and that come out of the tech man's mouth. This should have been written different than what it is. So just want to damn clear up some of this stuff, because there's people out there like this goddamn Chester Smith shit that got this fake profile. He don't want nobody to know who he is. Well, you know, and you always got something to say about my shit being illegal or something. Well, this car's not illegal. It hadn't been illegal since the day I built it. That damn shit was on there at the brawl. The same tech man teched it at the brawl, and it was legal at the brawl. I've had the motors tore down. I've had the shocks looked at. I've had the goddamn whole car going over, and this sumbitch is legal. So I can't convince somebody of something that don't want to be, that don't care or don't want to believe anything, but it is. But I'm going to go ahead and explain some stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and spill the beans. Everybody wants to know how this car is so fast. Well, maybe I'm smarter than all y'all. Hell, I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. Here it is. I have satellite controlled shocks on this car. There it is. I finally let it go. I guess y'all can say they're illegal if you want, but doesn't say anything in the rule book about can't have satellite controlled shocks. And then for y'all that's wondering what the hell that means that these shocks right here, I got a friend that works at NASA that designs the shocks and all that stuff for the shuttles. And he designed these shocks for me. And how they work is, I got a remote control that I can stand at the damn fence, and I can make these shocks. I can tune these shocks any way I want while Ronnie drives it. And so if you want to buy these shocks, yeah, the rule says you can buy them for $400, and I'll be glad to sell them to you. But you can't get the hardware that goes with them, see, because the rules normally say you can buy the shocks, but you can't get the hardware. Well, you can't get the remote. If you want the remote's going to cost you $5,000. So there you go. That's how this car is so fast. And don't leave out the fact of the traction control that it has as well. And in case you didn't know that, it's satellite controlled too. I can work that from the fence. So there you go. I've spilt the beans on how fast this car goes. So all of y'all that want a set of these here satellite controlled shocks, give me a call. But if you want the remote to work them, well, they get expensive. But you can sure have them for $400 at the racetrack. And let's not forget, you know, all the special stuff that's probably in the motor that's illegal, that the crate people is letting me get away with as well. So I'm going to sign off now, and y'all go do your homework and see if you can figure out how to outrun this son of a bitch.